Hey, Camp Girl Boss, it's Emily Breedlove, and we are back today with another live interview with a friend of mine. Her name is Annie Bauer, and we are talking about a really big topic, one that we get a lot of questions about from all of you campers. We're talking about confidence. Because if you're going to build your empire, if you're going to turn your ideas into some really awesome things out in the world, you've got to work on your confidence. And so, Annie, thank you for joining us today and for sharing your wisdom so that we can talk about how to build girl boss confidence.
I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me today. And thank you. Hello to all the campers out there. I hope you're having a wonderful day. And I am excited to be here and answer your questions.
Well, so this is a fun topic. It's one that every woman wants to talk about is how to feel more comfortable in her own skin and confident with her ideas, with her voice, with her work, all the things. Campers, you know the drill. We are live streaming. So if you've got questions for Annie, post them in the forum and I will be checking throughout the conversation. So Annie, before we get started, we want to get to know a little bit more about you. So tell us about who you are and what is it that you do?
I am Annie Bauer. I live in Asheville, North Carolina in the mountains, and I came from Texas. I was actually born in Texas originally, and I came here to the mountains to escape the Texas heat, although I will always be a Texas girl in my heart. I love animals. I have 4 rescue dogs, 3 rescue cats, and for all you horse lover girls out there, I actually have 2 horses, and I'm just sitting feet away from even the horses. I can see out the window. And my company is actually an online school. So it's online learning. So it's basically a school for grown-ups, because as you guys will learn as you go through school, that a lot of stuff that you need to learn about life and being an entrepreneur, especially, you don't learn in school. So what I do is teach women how to set up a business, and specifically a digital online business, and grow that business, grow a revenue from that business. And I teach them how to monetize it, the business processes, the business systems, what to do with great ideas. And I love what I do.
So it's almost like you do a Camp Girl Boss for adult women.
I do.
Yeah.
I have Camp Girl Boss for grown-ups.
That's awesome. Well, that's exactly what we do. So it's going to be a great conversation. So we are talking about confidence, Annie, and I know that you see that even with your clients. It's something that we work on in camp. Can you talk about what you see confidence looking like in business with the women entrepreneurs and why you think it's so important to look at in this world?
Okay, that's a great question. 2 things. First of all, I think confidence looks different for women than it does for men. So there's some things that women in confidence and men in confidence, there is some common ground there. But we do have several things that we can talk about. And if y'all have questions about this, please dive in. There's different things that girls and women face as far as confidence. And in the entrepreneurial world, I think this is particularly true because men still dominate the entrepreneur space. Men still dominate the business space. And although women and girls are starting to own more companies, it's still less than men. And so there's just, I think one of the biggest challenges is there's not a lot of female leaders, particularly entrepreneurs out there to follow. So we're kind of having to create our own format for how we want to build our businesses.
Well, okay, so we've got some questions coming in.
Okay.
So let's look at, why does confidence matter in business?
Why does confidence matter in business? So the first thing that I'm going to say is that confidence matters in life. This is the most important thing that you can bring to the table, is to have confidence in yourself. But I'll tell you why it's specifically important for entrepreneurs. Your whole life in schooling, as you go through different grades of school and as you're learning how to run your own businesses, and I love schools and I love teachers, but we're often taught to think inside the box, to draw inside the lines, to follow the rules, to wait our turn. And to be an entrepreneur means to have a great idea. And when that idea pops into your head, to pursue that idea and turn it actually into a reality. So confidence is even more important as an entrepreneur than it is in, say, like regular business, because you're having to be confident in yourself to take that idea, that dream, and build it into reality before it's ever been done, maybe, or ever been built. Confidence is important because business is hard sometimes, and being an entrepreneur can be really hard sometimes too. And you need to have that confidence to keep going when it's tough. And sometimes we get no's, and people tell us, no, we can't do this, or no, there's not enough money, or no, I don't know how to build that. And you're going to need confidence to keep going through the hard times and keep going through the no's and not let go of your dreams and your big ideas.
Well, and so, in our interviews, we also interview real world girl bosses. So, other young girls out in the world who are already running their businesses. And, one of the pieces of advice that they often say is don't give up, that it's hard, that things present challenges, that it doesn't always work out the way you think it will in the beginning, and that you've got to keep trusting in yourself and find a new way to do it and believe that you can make it work even when it's hard or confusing. And so the next question is around that of how can you grow your confidence? So you hit a rough patch, it knocks you down a little bit. What can you do to make yourself feel more confident in yourself and in your ideas?
All right, that's another great question. But here's the number one thing is when you get knocked down, first of all, let that be okay and don't see whatever happened to you as a failure. So in the entrepreneurial world, I want you to stop thinking about failure and success. And I want you to start thinking about these two things. And if you have pen and paper, write this down, that it either works out or you learn something. So start saying to yourself right now, there is no such thing as failure. And this is a concept that's going to be hard because the rest of the world's going to tell you that there's success and failure. They're going to tell you that when it didn't all come together, or when you didn't get the right test score, or when you didn't pass a certain test, or finish the race the right way, or get the first place prize, that's failure. But that's not true, and that will mess with your mind. So the first thing is there's no such thing as success and failure. There's only it worked out with the way that I wanted it to, or it was a learning experience, meaning that if it didn't turn out the way that you wanted it to, there's always something to learn from that. The second thing is that it's okay to get down, but don't beat yourself up. So it's okay when things don't work out and you feel down. You don't have to be super cheerful and positive all the time, because life is going to be ups and downs. And life is going to be some challenges and struggles, and that's just part of it. But remember and promise me this, that every time things don't work out, or you're feeling down or feeling down on yourself, that you always get back up. That's the key. So if you get knocked down 7 times, the key is always to get up 8. And those two things will go so far that you never give up. And you never, ever look at anything as a failure, only a learning experience.
That's awesome. Well, and so that's one thing that we look at in camp is how, doing big things, when you're trying to tackle big things that you care a lot about, that it does take work, and it takes really staying curious and continually figuring out how to do the next hard step and trusting that you can. So for that, around those tips of standing back up, right, and learning those lessons, do you have advice on almost having like a setback plan, or like when you do hit those bumps and you are learning from that experience, is it something that you actually have a process that you normally follow, or steps that you follow yourself in really being understanding and nice to yourself even when you hit those points?
I do. And Emily, I would say the first thing is give yourself a lot of grace.
Yes.
And remember that you are enough always, when things work out and when things don't work out. And trust and believe in yourself. And take this to heart, that if you're here on earth, your heart's beating, you are enough to build your dreams. You have everything inside of you that's enough to go after what you want. It's all there inside of you. So I would remember that and just stay in touch with that person inside of you that says, I'm enough because I'm here right now. And that's not looking for validation from your friends or from your peers or from people on Instagram or people on Facebook and social media. Just know that you're enough inside yourself. And then when it comes to the peers and people around you, before things start to get rough, start gathering people around you who believe in you and who lift you up. So there's a very, very famous person who was a great motivational speaker and a personal development person by the name of Jim Rohn. And he said, you are the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time around. So get really clear on your boundaries right now, who you spend the most time with, and are they going to be the type of people who will lift you up and be your friends and hang around with you and support you through your trials and your successes and not leave when things are rough. So you don't want those only sunshine friends. You want the friends who are going to be there during the rain showers too. And pick those people, whether they're family members, friends, neighbors, teachers. It could be mentors, it could be peers, but it could be mentors like Emily or somebody like me that is always going to be around you, telling you that you still can do this and that they believe in you. And for all of the rest of the people, for the negativity, for the people who don't say that you're enough, you don't have to be mean about it, but just distance yourself from those people and that kind of negative energy, because you'll be surprised at how much that will bring you down. And I think those 2 things would really, really go a long ways to making sure that you get back up. So when you are down and you're in those low periods, go to those friends, go to those mentors, go to those people, those family members, and ask them for help and support and lean on them to get through the hard times.
That's awesome. Well, and so we've got one more question, and it is kind of along those lines of what can you do when you feel scared? Especially those girls who are trying to start something new and who are, so one of the experiences that we do is we do a vision board. And so really setting the intention of the life that you want to create for yourself. And when you look at that, what do you do when you aren't feeling super confident? How do you help that?
Okay, so if you have your vision board already, that's a great thing because that reminds you every single day when you look at that vision board, this is where I'm supposed to be going. And give yourself permission to feel scared. But the most important thing when you feel scared is to take action. So I actually have, when I talk to my women about business, it's how to start a business or side hustle and do it scared.
Yeah.
Because being scared is one of the number one things, even for grown-up women of all ages, they still get scared. Being scared and doing nothing will keep us frozen in that scared state. So the most important thing is to take action. And it's easiest if you pick one small little action. So let's say you're trying to get your business going, you feel really scared, maybe you need to go on Facebook Live, or maybe you need to learn how to build a website, or maybe you need to reach out by phone to some people and ask them to be your sponsors. And you're really scared. You're scared to pick up the phone, you're scared to go on video. Pick one small little thing that you can do, and you're going to chunk it down. So you might do something like, can I make one phone call today? Can I pick up my phone and record a video and just practice recording the video before I go live? Can I do a live for maybe a family member? Can I do a live for maybe a trusted friend? Maybe just do a live in front of one person that you feel confident and comfortable with. So there's ways to chunk it down instead of jumping into the thing that's really hard. Think of little things that you can do to start to move towards what scares you and take action, but do it in little tiny pieces and it'll feel much more comfortable to you. The most important thing is don't stop, because there's something in personal development called the confidence competence loop. That's the confidence competence loop, meaning that the more we take action, the more that we feel like we can really do this, we develop the skills and the knowledge. And the more we develop the skills and the knowledge and the experience, the more our confidence increases. And so that just continues to loop on itself. But taking action is the key to all of that.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much. This has been hugely invaluable. Girls, if you have questions that you want to send to Annie, post them in the forum and I will be sure to share them with her. Thank you again for sharing this. I know I learned a lot. I'm sure our campers did as well. And we just really appreciate you taking time to join us today.
You're so welcome. And thank you, girls. Don't give up on your dreams. Keep believing, keep dreaming, keep going, because I believe in you.
Awesome. Well, and the girls who want to find out more information about you and your work, where would they go to find that?
They can find me anywhere, Emily, on social media at the Annie Bauer. So it's just my name as you see it there on the screen with THE in front of it. I'm on Instagram and Facebook. I need to get on TikTok, and you can also find me.
Me too.
You can also find me at my website at anniebauer.com. And if you send me questions, you can also email me at anniebauer.com. And I'm happy to answer any questions that anybody has and help you if there's anything that I can do.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Ladies, we will see you back next week with the next round of interviews. I hope all of you have a great weekend. Bye, everyone.
Bye.